Welcome back to Melanin and Murder Pod.
We back.
Week number, we have no idea, but we're happy to see you.
It's like quarantine weeks.
Yeah.
It's one of them weeks. We back in this thing. We was on a 2-week break to make y'all miss us. Mm-hmm. But now we here.
Hopefully you did, and hopefully you're back. If you're back, we so appreciate it.
Because they got them notifications on. Because they subscribe.
Please like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Melanin Murder Pod.
Insta is me, your girl, T.
Shapri. And it rhymes.
No, it does.
And I'm Moneé. So welcome back. So what we're going to talk about this week. By the way, I am super hungover, guys. So
it
my
ain't got nothing to do with
energy
me.
is going to be all the way down.
I didn't get her drunk this time.
No.
She did it all by herself.
I had such a good weekend.
I didn't. But that's okay. In honor of Moneé being hungover, we're going to take shots of seltzer. So
Yay. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers. It'll be a little easy drinking. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yum, yum.
Delicious. We're drinking shots of Cacti, in case you were wondering.
I've never had Cacti before. I don't even... What is that?
Girl, it's new. It's Travis Scott's seltzer.
Oh, that's cute.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Travis.
It's it's just like recently hit stores. He was sending care packages like on Instagram to all his famous friends, and I would be looking like, I want some Cacti. It's actually I've had all the flavors.
Nice.
They have a strawberry one that's actually really good. I think you would like it.
Oh, yeah.
To me, it's better than White Claw because White Claw has, I don't know,
doesn't have enough flavor.
It doesn't. It just tastes like spiked water.
Yeah.
With like a little bit of flavor in it. It just, I don't know. It's not good to me. White Claw heads, don't come at me.
I like Truly though.
I've never had Truly. I've never had Truly. But actually Cacti is really, really good. And if you haven't had food, which was when I first had it, it got me a little lit after like 3 cans. So after like 3 cans. But yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh. I mean it's 7% and it's healthy. It's agave. So agave is a natural plant, so it's not like heavy sugars or anything. So in the small can, I know it's like only 120 calories. This whole can is 300 calories, so it's like easy drinking. You don't have to feel guilty. I'm sorry this turned into a Cacti commercial, but
shout out to you guys.
Give me my money.
Right.
Pay me.
So what we had, outside of the weekend, I was just going. So do I really know what's going on in the world? Probably not too much, but real life has been fun. I heard that Kentrell is having another baby.
Who's Kentrell?
Kentrell's NBA young boy.
Oh.
Yeah, and he has a lot of kids. That's why it's news, because she just keeps popping them out. Just popping them out. I saw Ocho Cinco tweeted or said something like, "Oh, Kiki Wyatt and NBA Youngboy not go outdo me." And a picture with all of his kids because he has a ton of kids too. But also Kiki has a shit ton. And I'm like, girl, what does your vagina feel like? Can you even feel anything down there anymore?
Y'all better than me.
To me, after you about I don't know. Anywho,
one is a lot. I just
yeah.
People be having kids, and I just don't understand. I be looking at people like I'm a teenager. I'm like, you're pregnant.
You
what are you gonna do? It's like I'm a grown ass married woman. Oh, okay, you're right.
We are full ass adults now. I'm still questioning why people are having kids.
You having congrats, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Like, are you happy about it?
Right. Are you okay? What are you gonna do about it?
Great.
Girl. I don't know, especially this past year. Girl, it's a whole panorama outside. But people in quarantine and y'all getting pregnant.
Yes, people had lots of babies this year.
Yeah, because they ain't have nothing to do but sit in the house and fuck like rabbits.
Mm-hmm. So that has been going on. What else has happened? J-Lo and A-Rod broke up. I mean, we kind of knew that was coming because, when rumors come out and then they have to be like, okay, no, we're back together. We're going to work on it. It worked out, but she'll be fine.
Oh. Well,
J-Lo collects engagement rings like I collect.
And so will he.
Hangovers. So
like Infinity Stones.
Like the Infinity Stones, and they're huge, like Infinity Stones.
I wonder who
so
has the last stone in head. Like who's gonna
be the last one? Girl, she'll be the last one.
Snatch that hoe out somebody's head.
It's gonna be her own because she can do that.
That's true. Her own rock.
Mm-hmm. Other things that have happened this week. So one thing that I thought was like really funny, really cute. Did you see the girls that did a granny bar crawl? Mm-mm. They dressed up as grannies.
No.
They all dressed up as grannies, and they went out and they looked kitten heels and in old lady outfits, and it was like so much fun. They were like, one girl was doing a split. They were in these bars, and people were like, "What the like, go grannies!" But it was hilarious.
Wait, were they
like
grannies?
I love the theme bar crawl. No, they were like our age. And
okay.
They did a granny themed bar
non-COVID
crawl.
cough. Yeah. I'm fully vaccinated, guys. Fully vaccinated.
But that looked so much fun. That's my type of party. If you ever want to invite me to a bar crawl, I'll be there. Like, especially a theme. I love a theme. So that looked like so much fucking fun.
I love just dressing up.
We're gonna put a little video.
For no reason whatsoever. Like on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And people are like, okay.
Where are you going?
Why are you dressed up? Why aren't you dressed up? Why aren't you? I might do a theme for my birthday, and we can just go to the beach.
Yeah. Wait, what do you wanna? What theme?
Whatever.
Not yet. You get to it.
Whatever. It's like a month from now.
Oh gosh, so that's been going on. Now, in some actual news, like, okay, we know all of the racist type things that have been happening that I just don't care to discuss because I care to keep things very lighthearted today, very happy. But there were some teenage girls that broke into a home in the Bronx, or, I guess like a walk-up. They broke into it.
Some of these teenage girls cutting up.
Right? And stole, all four, about $500 in cash, okay, a Macy's gift card. A Macy's credit card. A Macy's credit card, okay. And Michael Kors bag.
This happened recently or in 2008?
This happened like last week.
That sounds like a 2008 crime.
And they caught these girls on camera with their bonnets on and shit.
What?
And I'm just like, girls, let's get it together. What's up, teenage girls? Like, what? What are you
gonna do with that?
Go to Marshall's, go to Ross. You can get a Michael Kors bag. If that's what you're gonna break and enter someone's home for, a Michael Kors bag, like, I'd be like, my life, I've really hit rock bottom.
That's rock ass bottom.
That is rock.
If you're gonna be breaking into people's homes, did you see the documentary about the kid that started the burglary ring with Kim Kardashian or Paris Hilton's house?
I remember that.
Like, you need to, like, that's the shit. If you're gonna do it, like, you need to be breaking into Paris Hilton and her friends' homes and stealing their diamond necklaces.
Access to that in the Bronx. I mean, any celebrities live in the Bronx? I don't think so.
Oh, maybe not in the Bronx. Well, go to Manhattan and go to somebody's condo and break into their condo. Or come out with something more than a Michael Kors bag.
Girl, just go to Ross.
What year is this?
Just go to Ross.
I just feel like we went back.
What you think they bought on that Macy's credit card?
Because apple bottom jeans?
I don't think they sell that at Macy's. No, okay,
I don't know what Macy's sells anymore.
I was trying to shade Macy's, but you were like too low for Macy's. Poor Macy's. Sorry.
That's true. I don't know. It's been years since I shopped at Macy's for clothes. I used to. I ain't even gonna lie. And like, you could find some finds, but like,
girl, you just turned Macy's.
Like sheets from Macy's.
Sheets are great. You turn Macy's into a whole ass.
You know what I think of, like, Macy's? I think Macy's is like very like I'm walking into Macy's right now, and they have the Tommy Bahama section, and they have the BCBG section. Look, they have the Tommy Hilfiger section, Liz Claiborne. That's what I'm picturing.
Sorry to that store. I wouldn't even know. I've never been in a Macy's in years.
That's what I'm saying. I picture like the little sections of the older like white lady.
Yeah, the
like,
misses.
The misses section. Mm-hmm. Oh, but in the junior section, they had like last time I shopped at Macy's, it was when I was wearing probably Jordan heels or something.
I definitely would shop there for a granny crawl though. Like, I feel like I can find some good finds in the misses section.
Steinmart.
That's
where you go for a granny crawl.
Steinmart is the place in my head that I remember growing up where before ugly Christmas sweaters was a thing, like people actually wore those sweaters and they were just ugly and Steinmart sold them. So
I don't know anybody over the age of like 46 that ever shopped at Steinmart.
Yeah, I hated going to that store.
Me too.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I was like, why are we here? I would much rather go to, because, in Lafayette, the Steinmart is right in the, like, by the TJ Maxx and all that. So I was like, I'd much rather be in TJ Maxx.
It's like, why are we in this store?
Why are we in this store? Yeah. There's nothing for me. Like, when you're a kid and you go to stores, you're selfish. You're like, I want to go to the toy aisle. And when you're older, you're like, I want to shop in the juniors section. Ain't no juniors in Steinmart.
There's no juniors in Steinmart. It is a store full of fucking misses. And I remember when I was going there as a kid, like being like, Mom, like my mama could do so much better than Steinmart. Like it's a disappointment.
Yeah.
But we're talking about that's all I got as far as news this week. There hasn't been too crazy. It's been going on. Oh, Hazley, you're looking like, who the fuck is that? She used to be like a publicist or something. She was on Love and Hip Hop, LA. I think she lives in Houston, but she got like bad surgery in Turkey. Like she wanted to do like a mommy makeover. So now she's stuck in Turkey because they have to keep her in the hospital. She was on live like crying. She was like, I don't have any more boobs. Which is actually not funny. Like, I get it. Like, people's appearance is very important. I can see how that could be, like, very traumatizing. Especially if you just wanted to snap back after pregnancy changes your body so much,
But why not do it here?
That's the fucking thing. So they couldn't do her surgery because of her boobs that were done, say, I don't know, back in 2015 or something in Mexico.
Oh, girl.
Don't go. Why are you going out of the country to get plastic surgery, people? It's not like we have really great doctors here in the U.S. Like,
and she seemed like the point? She did all that. She could afford it, right?
Yeah, here. I mean, you have to take a trip to Turkey and shit.
That's what I'm saying. So you could easily afford a doctor here.
I think that the prices for surgery are cheaper.
That's what I'm saying. If you can't afford it, then you don't need to be doing it.
Yeah. But she said she wanted to like have her baby be well traveled before the age of 1. So
let me know your 1-year-old memories. Write us and let us know what you remember from your 1-year birthday party.
But what is this drink?
We're drinking out of red Solo cups because this is my ghetto drink. It's a spiked, so it's ranch water.
I love a ranch water.
That's our favorite drink, our go-to drink that she swears that we had together, but we never had it together until she started ordering it. Ranch water is tequila.
It wasn't that. You said that it wasn't on the menu at the place. And I was
that's not what the argument was. Your argument was that we had it together. You were like, you remember we drank it at whatever the place was. Yeah. And I was like, no, we had happy hour margaritas. You probably had it with somebody else or a resident husband, but it wasn't me.
I feel like we were having an argument of two completely different things. She's talking to me about this, and I was saying it was on the menu
she was like, you had it before, because I kept being
We're
like,
doing it right now.
Ranch water? I was like, what is ranch water? I've never heard of this a day in my life. It's a very Texas thing, and I didn't like ever have it until I started like going to bars in Houston, and she brought it up, and I was like, oh, okay, like it is a thing, because you kept being like, it's a thing. I was like, it's not a thing. And so that argument started, but it's basically tequila, soda, and lime juice. So today I have tequila. I use Herradura añejo, which is a clear añejo with Topo Chico. And instead of lime juice, I use lime cacti.
It's pretty good.
With strawberry puree. So it's a strawberry ranch water.
Yum.
With cacti. So it's like extra spiked.
Extra spiked, a little extra spiked, which I probably only need to drink a little tiny bit of this. But let's get into our murder mysteries of the week. Who went first last week? I don't remember.
We didn't record last week.
Oh, week before last. Last episode.
I did.
Okay. So, we are going to talk today about the murder of a Mr. Lauren High. And this happened in Minnesota in 2017. Okay.
Fuck you, Minnesota.
So, yes, fuck Minnesota. Fuck the police officers, whatever. But, we'll talk about this story that unfortunately happened to Mr. Lauren. So, Lauren was well known among his group of friends as being a very fun guy, but he was a ladies' man. All right, so he was known to date many women. That was just his thing. He was in a legit relationship for quite a bit, where he had 2 daughters with this one girl. And it just didn't really shake out because he was texting other girls and stuff. But they still had a very good relationship for their kids, right? Lauren, it was a great dad because his mom passed away when he was young. So family values were really, really, really important to him. So after he broke up with his baby's mother, he, got back out in the streets. And when he was out in the streets, he met a Miss Porsche Humphrey.
Oh, Porsche girl.
So Porsche was a mother of 4 kids. And Lauren was really, I guess, attracted to her because they seemed to have pretty good family values. She was a good mother also. She also had some childhood trauma related to parents. Her mother shot and killed her father in front of her when she was a kid. So her mother went to prison and she ended up in the system. So she was very serious about taking care of her kids in a way that was associated with what she went through. So they kind of connected over that. And but she felt like she didn't really have her parents in her life or people that loved her that way. So the way she went about finding that was via men. Okay, so maybe unconscious or consciously. But poor Lauren in 2017 was found shot dead in his apartment on February 5th, 2017. On that day, one of his friends, his best friend since he was 10 years old, went to check on him. They were supposed to go to a Super Bowl party. And he was Lauren hadn't been answering his phone, which had been really weird for him because he was even if I call him and he doesn't answer, he usually texts back. This is just not like him. So he ended up kind of breaking into the house, and he said he saw his friend on the floor, and he thought maybe he was just passed out drunk or something. So he was a little bit relieved, but then he called his name. There was no answer. He tried to shake his ankle, and then he just felt like it was just way stiff. So that's when he realized he was dead. His friend Curtis had stated that, he had been dealing with some depression, so he worried that he might have killed himself. So he went outside and he was a little bit panicked, and he called 911 and was like, I don't know, I think my friend might have killed himself. The police come into the home, and then they find Lauren's body. They also find a piece of glass with what looks like a white powdery substance on it that could have been, that was used for drug use. That looks like it could have been cocaine. So on that glass, they also found a fingerprint. So of course they take that into custody, but they asked his friend Curtis, did he ever do any drugs? And he was like, that's one thing I can vouch for my friend for sure. Like, he may smoke weed a little bit at times, but he never would do cocaine. Like, that's just not him. So they said, okay. They asked him a little bit more about his life, and he's like, did he do any drugs? Was he caught up with some wrong people? He was like, not at all. The only drama that ever surrounds him is with women.
The ladies.
With the ladies, because he is a ladies' man.
He's a player.
So he tells them that, he was dating this girl. He was in a long distance relationship. He started talking to this girl who was out in Atlanta. Her name was Suzette Bourgeois. And I know it sounds like a fake name.
It really does. That sounds like a name I would give somebody. Like, make up. What's your name?
Suzette Bourgeois.
If we were drunk and went to a bar and I used an accent for no reason, which I do a lot of times, if I decided to be Francais that night, but like, what is your name? Oh, my name is Suzette Bourgeois. Suzette Bourgeois.
And you gotta introduce yourself first and last name.
You have to. You have to do that. My name is Suzette. Suzette Bourgeois. So Suzette was like, obviously they always turn to the people that... These white people?
They started... no, these are black people.
Girl. So, Suzette Bourgeois is... Okay.
Yeah.
All right, girl.
From in Atlanta.
Is she from Atlanta or was she from Louisiana?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So of course they start looking into the women in his life. Suzette was like, yes, we talk every day. And she actually contacted his friend Curtis too, because she was like, I hadn't heard from him in a few days. And she was very worried about it. Very, very worried about it. It's been like 3 days. She hadn't heard anything. And that's very weird because they literally talked every day. So the police ruled her out because she was between her work and other things. They were able to rule out that she was in Atlanta during that time. Now, here's the difficult part. His body was in his home, but the ambient temperature inside the apartment was very, very low. It's like 45 degrees.
Oh, so he could have been killed like a week before.
Exactly. So they had no idea because the body didn't really have those signs of decaying like you would expect because it was so cold. Basically, he was like in a refrigerator in his apartment. So there was no smells or anything. So they couldn't really determine when he passed away or when he was shot, which is very difficult when you're trying to find a murderer. So what they did was then after they spoke with Suzette, they spoke with the neighbors. And also Suzette stated that, he was having the last time she spoke with him, or one of the last times she spoke with him over the phone, his ex, Porsche, had showed up to the house while she was on FaceTime with him. And she was banging on the door. And she was like, hey, let me in. I gotta pee. The fuck? I gotta pee. So she was like, I could see this going on FaceTime. She goes to the bathroom and comes out naked and lays on his couch and I guess starts like playing with herself or whatnot. So
girl.
So Suzette was like, this bitch is crazy.
Yeah.
So he's been trying to kind of cut off that relationship for a while, but it was kind of an off and on kind of push and pull type thing. So when he started talking to Suzette, he might have been talking to Porsche, but he was adamant on cutting that off.
Couldn't leave the crazy alone. Be trying to tell you.
So here's the thing. So that was February 5th when they found the body, but they spoke with the police spoke with the neighbors, and one of the neighbors said, I think I saw him on February 3rd. So they were like, okay, there's that window, okay, where February 3rd he was seen alive. We found him on February 5th, so that kind of helps build that timeline.
Oh, okay.
Right? So they then, from Suzette talking about Porsche, then go talk to Porsche. Porsche is at the office and the police office. What's it called?
Police station.
The police office. Officer. That's what I'm thinking. You get the picture. So
She had like 2
like post office, police office. One of those things has got to be right.
Girl, where you going? I gotta go file a report at the office. The police office.
Look,
I mean, it should be. It should be called a police office because it's officers.
Officers.
Like you are an of the office.
Of the office, exactly.
I got you.
Thank you.
So y'all got it wrong, basically.
So she's down there, and she shows up with all of these papers showing that, and receipts showing like her alibi where she was on February 1st.
Oh.
Oh, Portia. So this was from February.
She's like, I went to Walmart on February 1st.
On February 1st. And then she just keeps giving them receipts, and they're like, this is weird. Like, they're like,
how do you have all these receipts?
But they're like, lady, like, we're not they didn't tell her, of course, but they were like, nobody's looking for February 1st.
Right.
So, also...
but also, who does that? Like, who just keeps all their shit on purpose? Just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case anybody asked me where I was on this day.
Everywhere I was on February 1st. There you go. You can check that out. And they're like, ma'am, we weren't even thinking about February 1st, but they didn't tell her that, of course. So... she also, one of her friends, Portia's friends, also said that February 2nd, she spoke with Portia, and Portia was really sad, and she was saying that Lauren had got shot. So that's why she was sad. At this point, no one in the world knew anything about February 1st, or that he had gotten shot on February 1st. So the police then gather this information because how stupid
dumb are you?
Come on now.
The police didn't even find.
Girl,
that's not funny. Sorry, Lauren, but
yeah. So then also
people can never keep their mouths shut. That's how this shit always ends up.
It always falls apart because y'all are stupid. So then they also asked her about, he did own a gun, a .40 caliber gun, and they asked if she had ever handled it before, and she said yeah. And then she later, like minutes later, says like, oh no, I never saw the gun, I never touched it. So then because she lied, they were able to arrest her on suspicions of her being the murderer because she's lying and contradicting herself in that session. And why are you bringing all this shit from February 1st? Right. So fishy, we're gonna arrest you. They arrested her, and more things start to come together. So Suzette had actually, they're able to get into his phone. You know, it can kind of take a while to unlock someone's phone. So they're able to get into his phone, and they see that all of his communications on his phone kind of stopped on February 1st. So he had been texting Suzette, and he was also texting and talking to another woman who is neither Suzette nor Portia.
Nice. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wasn't dating anybody. He just...
I guess. I mean, all these women thought that they were in full-ass relationships. Oh, okay. So there's that. So there's another girl called Daralish, something wild. I mean, she doesn't really have much to do with the story, but he was talking to another woman. They saw that also stopped on February 1st. But when Suzette was speaking with him, she had apparently flew out there, and the night prior to February 1st, she had stayed over at his home. So Suzette stayed over the day before February 1st. Okay, so that would be what, January 31st? January 31st. Yeah. Yes. So January 31st, she stayed with him that night, and she left the home the morning of February 1st. So obviously he was alive the morning of February 1st. Before she left, the police also showed her pictures of the room where he was found dead, and she was like, they were like, anything out of place that wasn't there when you left that morning. And she said that glass with the drugs on it, with the drug residue on it, that was not there. So we'll get back to that piece of glass too. So she was like, no, and I don't know him to do hard drugs or anything like that. But before she left, he said that he wanted to have a conversation with one of his exes to just kind of, that needed to be had to kind of stop things. And she already knew from seeing Porsche on FaceTime previously that she was a little crazy. So she texted him, and you could see that he had his red receipts on. So she texted him and was like, hey, how'd it go? That was red. But she sent another text not long after that, or maybe a few hours later, and was like, I guess the conversation's still going on. You know how girls do, you know. So I guess the conversation's still going on with your ex, huh? And that was never read. So they were able to kind of get a little time frame from that.
It's good detective work. Something I would do.
Now, that piece of glass with the fingerprint on it, whose fingerprint was it, do you think?
Porsche.
Of course. So she was already booked. The fingerprints matched. It was Porsche who did it.
Only
and it was
somebody on a coke high.
It was MDMA. It was ecstasy that was on the thing. Yes, girl. So I was like, weird as fuck.
What kind of?
Yeah. So they find that they obviously...
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so now they're able to charge her. And after they're able to charge a Porsche, they also... everything just basically kind of comes to a head. And she gets her lawyer. She stops talking. Her lawyer asked for a plea deal, but the state or whatever wanted to make sure that she... is charged with murder because she killed someone, made sure it was homicide. She ended up doing a plea deal. She pleaded guilty. But because they accepted the plea deal, because they didn't want to go to trial, because they were like, she could change her whole story and she could possibly get less. So she ended up just getting 9 years in prison for this. Yeah. And we'll show a picture of you what she looks like. And what he looked like, you know, it's just like, they were like, how the fuck? He really had to be a ladies' man because I don't think he had a type. So, yeah, that is the story of.
I'm sorry. Wait, he had. Wait.
You should see what she looks like. I'll show a picture.
Oh,
here.
I see. Okay, it took me a minute to try to understand where you were going with this. Okay, all right, I see. Well, yeah, I mean, that's how these men be. They don't have a type. You mess with the wrong crazy one.
You might get shot. So then she says afterwards, after she did the plea deal, her story was that she went over there and to just ask them if he could show her how to hold a gun. And she did. And she mishandled it and shot him on mistake. Sure. Everybody knows it's because she was gravely jealous, and that's what envy does.
Well, and the psychological implications of growing up knowing that your mom shot your dad in front of you.
Exactly. Life comes full circle in that story. So that is the story of Porsche Humphrey and Lauren High.
Porsche girl.
2017.
Leave them crazy ones alone.
Leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Leave them alone.
Okay.
Jesus.
Yes.
I don't have a murder story, but per our episode from 2
yes,
weeks,
we said we were going to talk about it.
It is true crime related, because, I mean, this technically could be attempted assault. But,
yes.
So
I wanted to hear this story.
To kind of keep it light, it's funny now. This is the story of how Twitter almost got my ass beat. So...
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. Okay, so this is like 2010 or something like that. I don't even remember. So my homegirl is dating this guy. So when my pre-story, like when my homegirls date multiple dudes at a time, I don't have the time to learn their names. I don't give a shit. You are like, I give them nicknames, you know what I mean? Like you.
Like Lil Shirt.
Yeah, like because if I met you and you had a little shirt, you gonna be Lil Shirt.
Yeah, Tiny Shirt Tim.
One of my friends, she was talking to a dude one time named I called him Face because I was like, his face is just. He had a face.
It was intense?
He had a very nice body, and I was just like, his face don't match his body.
He was a butterface.
So the only, like, she would be like, oh yeah, let's call him John. She'd be like, oh yeah, I went on a date with John. I would be like, who? Like, my brain, like, literally doesn't register names. And God. They're like, face. I'm like, oh yeah, you went on a date with Face.
Shit.
Like, so everybody has a nickname. I'm sorry, you were just dude of the month to me. We have no reason to be friends. I'm not that type of bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to be your best friends with the dude that you're dating this month.
You are diminished to one of your worst features. Essentially.
Basically, either one of your worst features or something that is memorable about you. Like, that is going to be your nickname. So this dude had a nickname. I don't remember what it was. But I never actually met him in person. I had no idea who he was. We'll call him Omar. So she just tell me stories like, oh yeah, I went on a little date with Omar last night. It was cool or whatever. All right, great. So she dated Omar for like, let's say a couple weeks. And then she hit me up and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna cut Omar. I was like, okay. Like, whatever. Yeah. I literally do not care. Like, I could give zero shits. I was like, okay, cool. So for whatever reason, this is like the Wild Wild West of Twitter times. This is back when you could say anything, do anything. People used to talk shit to each other, talk so reckless. Yeah. It was amazing. If you weren't there, I am sorry. But people, not to say, I mean, you touched on this before. Yeah. Like, not saying like, it's terrible to be sensitive, and we should all be sensitive to certain things and issues and empathetic. Yeah. And there's a lot of things that have been said that got glossed over, but it was a good time because it was just easier. You know what I mean? Like, and we would all like talk shit to each other and nobody got offended and got canceled. So she, for whatever reason, I guess the cutting him off portion didn't go as well as she thought. Oh, shit. So I don't know. I guess they got in a fight. So she took it to Twitter. And she blasted him on Twitter. Oh, God. And said, like, some crazy stuff.
What'd
and I
don't want
to, like...
He got a butterface and he got a
No, this is a different person. But, yeah, like, she talked about it, like, basically, like, you got a small dick and you can't sling it anyway. Like, shit like that. And, like, that's why you still live at home with your mama, you bitch ass. You know, like, shit like that. But she was going off. And, like, in those days of the Wild Wild West of Twitter, like, when people are retweeting you and egging you on, it just only encourages you to keep going. So it kept going. And then all of a sudden, like my homeboy started jumping in and everybody is retweeting her tweets, including me, with the hashtag RIP Omar. So that just became a thing. It was like RIP Omar, like that she killed him, like on Twitter. So and there was like a running joke, like RIP Omar. We were like cracking mad jokes about it. Like, damn, Omar's gonna go home and cry to his mama with his little dick, you know, like shit like that. So fast forward maybe like 2 weeks or so. Omar's not on Twitter, BT Dubs, but his friends were. So fast forward a couple weeks, I was at some club with my friends. And Omar walked up to one of my homeboys and was like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And we're like, gasp. Where did that come from? I'm like, damn. I didn't know it was Omar either because I never met Omar. So I just saw some dude walking up to him like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I was like, what did you do to this man? And he's like, man, that's because of so-and-so and so-and-so. And I was like, oh, damn. Like, I guess somebody sent him the tweets. That's crazy. But it was in the middle of an event, and so it was just kind of like a tabled, right? Yeah. More time passes by, and we're thinking, like, nobody thought anything of it. We're just like, okay, whatever. That one incident happened, and he's like, beat your ass, and then that was it. He never beat his ass. So we're at a bar one night, and it's me and a whole bunch of my homeboys, and they disappeared. So I'm sitting on the couch just by myself in there, like thinking, like, what are they doing? I thought they were outside, like smoking or something. Yeah. I don't smoke, so I was like, just let them do their thing. I'm sitting there enjoying my drink, having a good time by myself. Right. And then I was like, all right, this has been like 30 minutes, so let me go and check on them because they wouldn't leave me by myself. Yeah. So I walk outside, and it was like drama. So I'm like scooting it, and I'm like trying to look to see what's happening. Right. There's two sides, and it's like Omar and his friends and my homeboy. And so I'm like, what's happening? And nothing's happening. Like, I hate when dudes are just so, like, talking shit. Like, just fight and get over it. Like, do some shit. They're just standing there, like, talking shit to each other. And they're going on and just like, blah, 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 fuck you. And you said this. I read your tweets and you said this about me and say that shit to my face. You know, like, shit like that. So God. I'm still just kind of standing there and I'm like going back and forth looking like, wow, y'all gonna fight? Or
right,
like, what?
Or what?
Like,
you're just gonna keep saying like, you tweeted
right,
this about
exactly.
me.
I think it's funny at this point because I'm like, you are really this pressed over Twitter. So I'm standing there, just like literally just standing there, and he looked at me. And he knew who I was. Mind you, I had never seen Omar before. But I'm like, hello, nice to meet you. And he steps up to me and he was like, you too, bitch. Whew, I'm gonna fuck you up too. Now, if you know anything about me, which most of you don't, I don't back down. So in that moment when I was very drunk, and that was a different time of mine, different place. But you know, like if a man's gonna threaten you, I'm like, no. You're not gonna.
I'm not standing for that.
No, absolutely not. Whatever you're gonna do, because it takes a certain type of man that physically threatens harm to a woman because you're a fucking coward.
And I ain't scared of them because that means you're a little bitch.
That means you are a little bitch because you feel like you can't fight a grown-ass man, but you feel like you could beat the ass of a woman. So I'm like looking around, I was like, okay. So I snapped and I was like, so I got in his face and I was like, bitch, fuck you. I was like, you want to fight? Fight me then. What you gonna do? I was like, hit me. So I'm all up in his face. I'm like, hit me, ho. The fuck you gonna do? You gonna fight me? You gonna fight a woman? And they're like holding me back. And they were like, stop. This is a very large man too. So he would have like killed me that night. And I think it was like, that might have been the moment that set it off. My dumb ass like trying to fight him. Like, y'all ain't gonna fight. Y'all not even fighting.
Right.
But he just threatened me. Ain't nobody said shit. And you know how I get when people don't say shit to come to my rescue whenever a man threatens me. So I was ready to fight. And literally then and there, it was like, oh shit, we fighting. And they all just like got into a street brawl in the middle of the street. I'm literally the only woman there out of like 20 dudes. And I'm just standing there like, oh no, oh. Because what the fuck was I gonna do?
Nothing.
There was nothing for me to do.
Anybody need a water break?
I'm on the street like, hey guys, y'all want? I poured up some water. I have towels available, Band-Aids, if anybody needs one. And I'm just following, I have ice packs. I'm following them down the street. I'm walking beside them because it just kept pushing across the street. And I'm walking with them, watching this fight. Like nobody wanted to like fight with me. So I was just by myself.
Well, thank God. Shit.
Thankfully. But yeah. It was a whole thing. Thankfully, like the cops didn't come, but there were like injuries to them and shit. Just regular fight.
All because of Twitter.
All because of some tweets. So you gotta be careful about what you say, because there are people that will get very offended from your tweets. And Twitter fingers ain't just Twitter fingers. Sometimes people be ready to pull up. I learned my lesson that night. For sure. I was like, I'm not, all right, this shit is real life. I'm not talking shit to nobody on Twitter. Like, I actually learned a real life lesson. I was like, okay, it's just jokes to you, but sometimes people get offended, so.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, that was the Wild West, literally.
Oh, yeah.
And that sounded like a Wild West standoff.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
That's how it felt. I walked out like, what's up?
I'm quick. Don't come to me because I'm quick to do something and run. Like if a guy comes up to me, I will slap you I will kick you in the balls real quick and run away. And I'm small, so I get away fast.
Yeah.
Okay?
She does.
So now you're gonna be standing there looking stupid.
That's her move.
By yourself. Yeah.
Now
and then I'm just gonna leave.
Like I was ready. I was full on ready like for a fight. I don't know how. I don't know how, when, where I was going to fight, but I didn't want to slap and run away.
They
I was
have
like,
balls. They have
me.
balls. It's like the most sensitive thing. Just kick them in the balls.
No, I know. I just like I didn't want to do like a quick move and run away. I wanted to fight.
Oh, hell no.
I know.
I'm not a fighter.
I'm not. Neither one of us have ever been in a fight in our lives.
No.
That is one of the like 10 things that drew us together.
Yeah. Only aggressive things that I've been in have been with men who have been crazy, ridiculous. Like,
God. 4 near fights I've ever had in my life were all with men.
Of course.
Ain't that something?
Ain't that some shit?
I don't know. I've never, one time in the 8th grade, been in a near fight with a woman, but a girl.
A girl at the time. But that was it. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Made me crazy.
That is a funny story though. That is nuts. I'm glad you're safe, friend. I'm glad that you didn't get beat up.
Thank you.
And you're here today to tell the story.
I'm here to tell the story. I'm still alive to tell the story. But yeah, it's funny now. At the time, it was very dramatic. But now I'm just like, that was funny. And we're cool now, me and Omar. Like, if I see him out and about, like, we speak. That was like a long time ago. We squashed it. I was like, bro, all right.
But now you know his name. Look,
I do. No, I know.
At the very end, he was like, I'm not going to be Face.
No, he wasn't Face. I forgot what his nickname was. Face is a different friend. Like, I was just like giving an example. But I don't know. I don't even know if I gave him a nickname at that point. I just never knew who he was.
Oh my gosh. I was about to say something, but I'm scared he's going to try to like see this and try to fight me. So
yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say anything.
But you know my
hopefully
move.
none of his friends are. Omar. I'm not trying to fight no more. Okay, we're cool. All right. That was a long time ago. We are in our 30s.
Yes.
All right. We don't have time for that shit. Yeah, I don't. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure. Wink, wink.
Hopefully.
Girl, I don't know. People. But I learned my lesson. I'm walking away now.
Oh my God.
What else? Murder shows.
Oh yeah. So have you seen any good murder shows this week?
I watched Why Did You Kill Me on Netflix.
Oh, I started it, but I didn't finish. How is it?
I give it 3 skulls out of 5.
Why?
So it was good, but like the whole thing, I thought it was supposed to be like about MySpace. That's why I was drawn to it, because I was like, oh, this is like some early 2000s shit. You know, we love early 2000s and true crime, so I thought it was a mix. Mm-hmm. And it included MySpace, but I thought that whole MySpace thing got drawn out in the documentary. Like they used it too much as a crutch, and it like really didn't.
It didn't mean much to the actual story.
It did, but they still drew it out. Like after I watched it, I was like, okay, like this could have been finished. It's about this girl. I don't even know what city but it's early 2000s, and she got killed in like a drive-by. She caught a stray bullet to the head. And so her family was trying to figure out who killed her. Yeah. And they ended up using MySpace. And they like interviewing the only thing, like her mom was crazy. And they're interviewing her mom, and she's like, yeah, you know, I did this and this and this. And they ended up having to like detain her mom because she wasn't cooperating with the police and everything. And if you see her, you'll know.
Understand?
Yes. And so they're like, I can say this, it doesn't reveal anything, but she's like, yeah, okay, you know, I've had in the past some dealings with drugs. And it's like,
we're like, no shit.
Her jaw was this way. The whole time I was watching, I kept thinking of the Pusha T line, and kilos came and gave you Bobby Brown jaw. So her lips went this way and her jaw went this way. I'm like, lady, obviously you had some dealings with some drugs in the past. She was a meth head, and yeah, girl. But okay, and this is the other thing why I gave it a 3 is if you see her, just picture very like redneck people. There was a lot of undertones in their interviews and stuff.
Racial?
Yes. And so it made it very hard to like feel sorry for them, even though it's like a very sad story. And what ended up, the person that did kill her was kind of who they suspected, but it was very like gangs and these people. And I knew that it was like she false ID'd some Mexican kid.
Of course she did.
Some Mexican kid, because she's like, she just drove by and she's like, that's him.
I saw him.
I knew it was him.
Mexican.
He's in a gang. He's in a Mexican gang. And like one of the things they did when the girl like made the MySpace, she tried to make it sound like a Chicana girl that was trying to, I swear to God. So she found a picture, she was catfishing, she found a picture of this girl that was wearing a Chicana shirt, and she created a profile that she thought would attract the Mexican or Latino gangs. So her profile was, I love to party. What do you like to do for fun? I love to drink and smoke. Oh no, what she no. She was like, yeah, I thought it was funny. Instead of saying drinking beers, I said drinking cervezas.
Oh no!
Yes.
Okay. So you said this is what's gonna piss me off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, Moneé would be so pissed off. I was pissed off. I was like, the fuck? She was like, yeah, I put drinking cervezas instead of drinking beer, and I was like, you know me, I like to drink and party and smoke for fun, and I knew that would attract all the Latino gang members. Like, girl.
Ew, disgusting.
It was so gross. Like, that's what they had to do. And the police were not involved in this. They were like, we told them not to do that. Like, shit like that.
Yeah.
And it was just so very, like, I'm saying undertones, but it was racist. But yeah, so that's what had me, like, pissed off about it. Because I couldn't feel sorry for them and what they were going through. Because I'm like, bitch, you would have been
an asshole.
Yeah, you've been an asshole. And they were
racist
just
asshole.
so... And they were like super white trash anyway. Like when her sons were in and out of jail for drug possession. They were on
so
meth. They had face tattoos. I was like, how you talking about these people? But your son's over here in and out of jail. You was in jail for meth possession. They got tats on their faces. Like, come on now.
This is horrible.
Look at who you are. But so yeah, I give it 3 out of 5 just because of the racial implication, the racial undertones.
I don't got no problem saying that. Fuck them.
I know, but like it was sad for the girl that got killed and didn't have nothing to do with like all the shit that was going on.
Right.
That was sad. So that kind of made me mad because it was like they were right type of situation. Yeah. But still, like, fuck that.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. Anywho.
So it's called Why Did You Kill Me? It's on Netflix if y'all want to check it out.
That reminds me of something that happened like this week. And I know like there's the Sword and Scale podcast, which is another true crime podcast. Well, so do you remember the story of Adnan Syed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
the
right.
HBO documentary.
Yeah, right. So remember his cousin Rabia had lots of. She's a lawyer.
Yes. She was working like really hard to try to get him off.
Yeah, to get him off. Well, she has a true crime podcast also, but the guy over that does the Sword and Scale podcast, I was like, I've always heard it, and it always comes up on like the top charts of true crime podcasts. Why is he a racist fuck?
Oh no,
he is so fucking racist. I never looked at his page, and when I looked at it, I was so fucking disgusted. And I'm like, how many people, why do y'all listen to this guy? So I came across it because I follow this other podcast, and they were saying, this other true crime podcast, I don't want to get the name wrong, so I won't say it. But they were like, our friend Rabia is getting lots of racist messages. He's like got his fan base to just send her racist shit and like attacking her online nonstop. And so is he, like always saying racist shit. If you go to his page, he has like all kinds of like, the recent situation with the boy in South Carolina walking down his neighborhood, and this guy stopped and he's like, oh, these Black Lives Matter people are all out there saying random bullshit. So I'm like, if you fucking listen to this guy on Sword and Scale, I'm just like, how the fuck is this allowed to, are people like this allowed to become so fucking successful? He has so many people following him, and he's a fucking dunce that's just so fucking ignorant.
But you know, like, people are attracted to negative. Like, there's negative, people are like moth to a flame to that shit. You know what I mean? Like, even if I'm sure he has like a cult following, because obviously we saw with, you know, the Trumpers and shit like that, you gain that type of following. But also there may be people that just like listen to hate him too. Not saying that that's majority of where his listeners come from, but just like negative shit or anything that shakes the table, people are attracted to. Like, what's your boy?
Trump?
No. Kevin Samuels has a whole like cult following now, because people like to listen to him because they love to hate him. And they like to listen to be like, what the fuck is this motherfucker saying today? But not understanding that those clicks equals more shit for him.
I get that.
Not saying it's the same situation, but like a lot of people who aren't positive, who don't have anything good to say, they get that platform because that's what sells these days. You know how it used to be sex sells? Now it's like drama and negativity. And a lot of trolling sells. A lot of people, even like that, I'm not even saying her name, they call it, you know, Tammy Lauren on Twitter. You know who she is. Like, she wasn't even like all that conservative back when she started in her early, like in her college days and her journalism career.
Got her fame.
But it got her famous. A lot of people jumped on that train because that's what people wanted to see, because that's what brings the ratings. It gets the people going.
Look at Stacey Dash.
Like, and she hopped off and was like,
trying to come back.
Y'all still love me, right? No bitch. No.
You say extremely offensive shit that actually hurts people. Like, he's fucking with this poor woman's life, you know, and he's a piece of shit. A piece of fucking shit. And he's won awards for that damn podcast. Oh, I was just disgusted. Fucking disgusted. Fuck that podcast. Fuck Sword and Scale. Fuck him.
You know what? I feel like oftentimes we finish this show on a fuck you segment. Yeah. I think that probably needs to be a segment.
A fuck you segment. Yeah, fuck you. Big fuck you to him. Because, like, fuck you.
Because, like, if we put together a highlight reel of the end of our show, it's a lot of you saying, fuck you. Fuck that. Fuck them. Fuck you. Fuck you, too. Yeah. And fuck you for listening.
Yeah.
So
to that shit, like, and you look at his Instagram, full of some
That's gross. Stop giving people like that a platform. I'm sure his followers are like eating that shit up because he's talking about gross shit, and obviously they ain't scared no more. They not hiding under a rock. They out here loud and proud. But stop making him more famous and giving him
be a good anti-racist
life
person.
He doesn't deserve. Ugh.
Oh my gosh.
Listen to people like us.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't know that and you listen to it, then you can just switch over to us. I mean, we have the Melanin and the Murder.
Right. We get a little bit of both.
So that's our episode for today. We ended on our nice little fuck yous. And
can we make this a GIF?
I don't know how to make one, but I can figure it out. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on @Melanin&Murder_pod on Instagram. And we hope you listen. We're on all streaming services. We love you. I'm going to get some rest for the week. I'm Moneé.
I'm T. We will see y'all next week. Bye.